Hello everybody out here on YouTube. It is I here, Real Beautiful Beauty. Going to be doing a DVD movie review for you here today. Okay, a few days ago, let's start out by saying that my beautiful beauty assistant decided that he wanted to watch this movie over the weekend. So what did I do? I went down to Target and I bought this movie from my local Target. And we watched this Saturday night. Okay, so I was very excited about getting this movie, very excited about watching it. I have actually never seen this movie. I never seen it as I was a little girl. I never seen it growing up or anything like that. So I was so totally unfamiliar with this movie. Okay, let's get down to the name of it. This is a Disney movie, and typically you always think, you know, in the back of your mind, you really can't go wrong with a Disney movie. Or can you? Okay, this is Disney, The Incredible Journey, and you have two dogs there and a cat. This is the original family classic. This movie here, The Incredible Journey Disney movie, this movie is actually made in 1963. Yes, yes, yes. So this is an oldie. This is an older movie. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, anyhow, like I said, you think, well, you cannot really go wrong with a Disney movie. Okay, first off, let me talk about my volunteer work because everything kind of ties in together here. Okay, as everybody knows, Real Beautiful Beauty, and I've done this for years, I volunteer at various animal shelters. I volunteer with animal rescue groups, animal rescue organizations. I do foster care. I do all that. And when I do not have the time with my full job schedule, because I hold various jobs, when I do not have time to actually physically hands-on volunteer at the shelters or volunteer with the rescue groups or anything like that, I donate money is what I do. So at the end of the month, if I have some money saved up at the end of the month, that's definitely what I do. I do make donations to various organizations. One of my favorites personally is the Humane Society of the United States. I love to give to them. Another one that I like to give to is a lot of Doberman rescues for Doberman pinchers, because as we all know, I am a Doberman pinscher owner. I mean, everybody knows that. And I really like to give to IDR, the Illinois Doberman Rescue Group for Dobermans. They're just various. I mean, we could be here all day talking about all of them. The SPCA, you name it. Okay. Yeah, so I donate money to various rescue groups, organizations that help dogs, cats, bunny rabbits, gerbils, hamsters, birds, fish, you name it, all types of animals, okay? I believe in giving animals a voice, and I have been doing this for numerous years now. They are helpless, defenseless animals. They cannot speak for themselves. They cannot defend themselves, and they rely on us humans to take care of them. Okay, so we all know how I feel about that, and we also know over the years how I feel about animal testing on products, skincare, hair care, cosmetics. I really, really campaign against animal testing and animal cruelty. I wish it would stop. A vivisection, you name it, all types of animal testing, third-party animal testing. The University of Wisconsin recently has been in some trouble for their animal testing practices. Basically, most all the universities, the major universities, the colleges, things like that, they still do animal testing. Pharmaceutical companies do testing. Okay, so we can get going in that direction, but we're going to get to reviewing this movie. Okay, so I thought, well, you can't go wrong with a Disney movie. But in the back of my mind, I also knew this was an older movie. Like I said, it's made in '63. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm a little skeptical about watching it because I know those are the pre-days. There was no PETA. There was very few animal organizations around, and no animal protection right groups were really around back in those days. Australia, the country of Australia, they tried to, interject and, have animal rights protection, things like that. But yeah, this is back in the day before PETA, on Hollywood movie sets. There was no animal protection groups. PETA was not on site. Various other animal protection groups were not there. Laws were not enforced. There were really virtually no animal cruelty laws. Things really were not even misdemeanors back then. particularly not felonies, but yeah. So you can get away with a lot as far as animal cruelty back in those days. So I knew this movie here is made in 63, and being this made in 63, that's the first thing that ring bells off in my mind, because there was nobody there to protect these animals along the movie set. And a second off, I knew that there was really no use of computers mandated in those days. Things were not computerized, they were not digitized, they were not 3D'd out, they were not computer animated, if you will. Things were really done in real life back then. So these were real animal actors. They were not, some computer showing them getting gobbled up by a bear, or, eaten up by another animal, or injured or dead or anything like that. It was not computer done. It was not graphic artistry done, if you will. So this was all real. These were the days of real animal actors. Okay. Let me say, okay, I was really impressed the first 5 minutes of the movie. I thought, okay, this is low key. I love, love, love movies that have animals in them. I love cats, dogs, horses, birds, you name it. I love all kinds of animals, okay, with the exception of snakes. But then again, I do not go make purses and shoes out of snakes, but I don't really like them that much. Okay, so anyhow, I really love dog, cat movies, things like that. I just think they're so lighthearted. They're so low-key, and I love movies of this nature. They are just so low-key. They're so harmless. I love them. The first 5 minutes of this movie I thought was fantastic. Okay, and then you got into a little bit of adventurous trouble. When the two dogs and the cat were out traveling together, they got obviously lost from their home. The movie started out with a man that was basically he was caregiving for the three animals while the people were on vacation or gone or whatever they were doing, and he was supposed to take care of these animals. Long story short, the animals got out and got away from him. Some miscommunication. He left a note for the family. The note ended up in the fireplace. The note got crumpled up and burnt to a crisp. So you had three animals here. Moral of the story, plot of the story, you have three animals out here traveling on their own. You got two dogs, appear to be a Labrador Retriever here, a Bull Terrier here, very similar to the Spuds MacKenzie dog. If anybody remembers back in the 80s, the Spuds MacKenzie dogs, I don't really remember that. I wasn't around back in those days, but I have seen like advertisements and things like that on the internet. And I know Bull Terriers are reminiscent of being Spuds MacKenzie beer dogs. And you have a Siamese cat there. Okay, so you have these three traveling. Well, okay, so it was getting a little adventurous out there. When it got to the part where the cat was, the cat was somewhat stalked down by the lynx, the larger cat. There was a very dangerous scene. It appeared to me, like I said, this is all real. These are animal actors. This is real. You can see it's real. You can tell it's real. You could freeze frame the DVD. You know it's real. Okay, so the poor cat took on the lynx, and I really, really think the lynx injured the cat, if not killed it. And each, it seemed like the cat kept looking different to me from the beginning of the movie. The cat's eyes were very bright blue. His eyes almost crisscrossed. He was a cross-eyed cat. And then the next cat they used was a much smaller cat in stature. The eye color was not as blue. The markings were obviously different. Oh my goodness. And then you got to the part later on, once the cat fight ended with the lynx, the cat, you can see that probably a stagehand, a director or something of a sort in the movie would throw the cat in the river. They threw the poor cat in the river. It appeared the cat was drowning. The cat was gasping for air. The cat was attempting to swim. The cat was mortified. The cat was scared to absolute death. And it looked like in the rough, rushing water, there was probably no rope tied around this cat. There was probably no safety harnesses of any type mandated in place. They must have let the cat go off the river, over the waterfall, gone and probably dead, because in the next scene, the cat looked totally different, okay? So, that really struck a chord with me. It looked like they killed a cat there, and then also looked like somebody, like I said, another stagehand, a director, or somebody on set threw the golden retriever, the Labrador Retriever, threw the Labrador Retriever in the water. He was rushing down the banks of the river water, and he was slammed into the rocks a few times. Very, very, very dangerous. I'm not sure if it killed the dog. I'm not sure if it injured the dog. I'm definitely really feel it did injure the dog for sure. It might not have killed him, but it looked like it injured him. And it was just horrific. And neither me or my beauty assistant liked it at all. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Oh my, this movie. Okay, and then later on in the movie, this dog right here, the Labrador Retriever, they let him play with a porcupine. Oh my gosh. A porcupine is a rodent. Okay, first off, that's not the problem. We love our rodents too. No harm done there. But he's playing with a rodent, the porcupine, the lab is. And as we all know, when a porcupine feels threatened or, in trouble or anything like that, what they do is they don't actually throw their quills. It is a myth. That is an absolute myth. Porcupines do not throw quills. What they do is they get scared, they get startled, and the porcupine quills just they startle out, okay? And they have a muscular tail on a porcupine, and the tail of the porcupine, they will swish the tail at the dog, and it releases in fear. The porcupine is fearful. In fear, the porcupine will release the quills. The quills just come out of his tail like that, okay? And where do they always end up? In the dog's muzzle, inside the dog's mouth, inside the dog's nose, in the eyes. I've seen it all. I have, over the years, seen so many dogs come into animal shelters that were owners surrendered, that had got into a little tiff with a porcupine in their yards. The owners no longer want to care for the dogs. The owner's too cheap to take the dog to the vet and have them surgically removed if necessary or if needed. The owners surrender dogs. I have seen so many dogs come into the animal shelters with a face full of quills. And a lot of times those quills just are not just only stuck in the muzzle. I've seen quills through the eyeballs. I've seen them through the pupils. I've seen them through the nostrils, straight through the mucous membranes. I have seen the quills puncture the sinus membranes on a dog. I have seen quills that get embedded in the roof of dogs' mouths. I have seen quills embedded in tongues. I have seen them surgically removed. I know it is extremely, extremely, extremely painful when a dog comes in contact with the quills of a porcupine and they let this dog intentionally, and heavens knows how many takes or how many cuts the movie had to make before they got this scene so-called violent and right, okay? And this poor dog comes out with a face full of quills, and I am just, oh my God, okay? I am so shocked because, like I said, I know the pain and the agony. I've seen dogs that have been stuck with porcupine quills, and oh my goodness, and I kept thinking, oh, I really hope there was a qualified licensed veterinarian on the set there that instantly removed those. I hope they were able to administer anesthesia and do surgery if they had to surgically be removed from the roof of his mouth or from the tongue, because a lot of times the quills have barbs on the end. They're hooked on the ends of the quills, and the barbs get embedded in the tongues. They get embedded in the roofs of the mouth. Believe me, trust me, I have seen it all. And they have to administer anesthesia, and they have to surgically be removed because they actually break off in the tongue, or they break off in the roof of the mouth, and the ends of the barbs are hooked. And if you leave that embedded like that, you can get chronic infection, you can get inflammation, and you definitely can get death. And I have seen dogs die from porcupine quill attacks. And it is so very painful to even have those injected into your face, into your skin, into your nose, into your eyes, into your muzzle, roof of your mouth, into your tongue, whatever. But they let this poor dog get just totally blasted with quills from a porcupine. And like I said, I was hoping and praying there was a veterinarian that was licensed and qualified on the set that could assist this dog, and I just wanted them out of this dog's face. Well, several scenes went on. They left these quills. I mean, 10, 15 minutes into the movie, the dog still has a face full of quills. And I'm thinking, oh my God, are you going to remove those and get those removed? So one of the next scenes finally on, it showed the old man at the house that found these dogs. He got a pair of pliers and pulled them out. I don't know if he was really pulling them out or not, but I guarantee you he had no medical training to pull those out. I guarantee you he was definitely not a vet, And I guarantee you, he was definitely not even a vet technician to be doing that. So he was just wildly pulling them out with pliers. But oh my gosh, I was hoping they were going to get this dog medical attention. So bad, so sad. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, and then there was a scene earlier on where the bull terrier, there was a black Kodiak type of bear, a black bear, similar to a Kodiak black bear, like Alaskan bear, appeared to be a Kodiak bear who was protecting her baby cubs. And you know how aggressive a Kodiak black bear can get when they are protecting their baby cubs. Well, the baby cubs were messing with the bull terrier dog, playing with the dog. Well, here comes the black Kodiak bear out of the wilderness, out of the forest, out of the trees, tries to take on the dog, swats at the dog. So very dangerous. That bear could have tore this dog to smithereens. He possibly even did. Who knows? Maybe in the next scene the dog was replaced. How many times was this dog replaced in this movie? How many times was this dog replaced in this movie? And I know for a fact, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, this cat was replaced several times. The cat looked different. The size and the weight of the cat kept changing. The markings on the cat kept changing. The eye color was not as intense. Unbelievable. There were so many wrongs with this movie. None of it. I don't care if it's Disney. I don't care what. Animal cruelty, animal abuse. These animals that made this movie were subjected to animal cruelty, animal abuse. I don't care who their trainers were. I don't care if their trainers were along this side of the set. I mean, I do not care. Animal abuse is animal abuse, whether it's animal testing on cosmetics, animal testing on beauty products, health products, skincare products, whether it's vivisection, whether it's dumping and pouring hair dye and hair color in the eyes of innocent bunny rabbits. It does not matter. If it's Gillette razors, shaving up a bunny until they cut the bunny so many times the bunny's dead, it does not matter. It is still cruelty. And this movie is just, I am never going to watch this movie again, ever. Okay, and I have the movie Milo and Otis, and I know there were a lot of things in Milo and Otis movie that I saw that were totally wrong as well. A lot of animal cruelty. But this movie actually shocked me. The porcupine attacking this dog with the quills, the cat drowning in the river, the dog being slammed against the river banks and the river water, this dog almost maybe even possibly being killed by the black Kodiak bear. Oh my gosh, the lynx cat fighting with the cat, probably killing one of these cats. I mean, who knows how much abuse these animals endured, what agony they went through. I cannot believe it. I was just so shocked. You know, I could only hope that it's just an age factor, that being this is a very old movie, that now we have so many laws, we have so many protection groups. There are so many people in Hollywood, California now that are on the sides of the sets that protect the animals against all this abuse. And they can computerize, digitize, graphic artistry, animation, there's 3D, there's whatever. There are so many ways now to make this stuff look totally real without it being real and without actual animals being harmed or hurt, okay? So, this is another movie where I witnessed so much animal cruelty that it really makes me sick. It sickens me. It really does. Now, an FYI here is still record to date. The most animal abuse ever endured in a movie was Ben-Hur, the 1920s version. I believe it was either 1925 or 1927. The Ben-Hur, so that's an older one, where the horses were killed. The horses were injured. They were trampled by each other. They were trampled to death. They were injured. Their legs were broke. Their legs went lame. They were screaming out in agony, and it's really horrible. 100 plus horses were injured and killed, and it got to the point to where the director just started shooting them. The director literally pulled out a gun, and when one of them was hollering out and screaming out in pain and agony, or their legs were lame, or their legs were mangled, twisted, broke, they were bleeding, they were on the ground, he pulled his handgun out, he just took to shooting them. And they say, to date, that was the most animal abuse ever endured in a movie. and that the director himself there was pulling out a gun and just wildly shooting these animals dead on the spot. And he was seeing he was putting them out of their misery. So the 1920s version of Ben-Hur is still the worst form of animal cruelty for animal actors. This is a bad movie. I do not recommend this to anybody. And if you are aware of animal rights, if you are aware of you're an animal activist like I personally am, if you're aware of all these things happening, do not watch this movie. Please tell me your comments. Please tell me your thoughts on this movie. Tell me if you've seen this movie. I have actually talked to a lot of people just in the last 2 days that have actually watched this movie when they were children. They tell me they were little boys and little girls growing up. They loved this movie growing up as children. They have recently turned around and watched it as an adult. The blinders are off, eyes are open. It is abuse. Okay, much love. Take care, beauties. See you later. Thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye now.